Hey y'all, hola mi gente, how are y'all doing today? Today I'm cooking lunch, like always, for my honey before he goes to work. And I decided to do something, most of the things that I'm going to do today are really quick and easy. We're cooking scallops, those don't take long to cook. Asparagus also doesn't take long to cook. But what I'm accompanying it with does take a little bit of time, and that's some risotto. And I'm just going to do some brown butter garlic risotto. It's going to have shallots in it. It's going to have a lot of cheese in it. Today I'm going to put a little bit of pecorino romano and some parmigiano reggiano. And that's what we're going to do. So I'm going to start off with like a chicken stock base and just keep adding some warm stock to it until it gets creamy as I want. Then I'm going to hit it at the end with a little bit of a heavy, and it's going to be delicious. So I'm so excited. And this is just what I had on hand. Scallops, I try to keep seafood at hand, and we don't really have a good seafood market near me. But this is just some raw scallops, and I got some medium green rice. So I don't have any risotto rice, but really you can make risotto with any rice. It's just the longer the grain, the more liquid you're gonna need and the longer it's gonna take. The shorter the grain, the shorter time it's gonna need to cook. We have some chicken stock, extra virgin olive oil, like I said, the cheeses that I'm gonna use today, and parmigiano reggiano. We got some butter, shallots, fresh garlic, and then asparagus. And I buy my asparagus like this. It's already kind of cut for me and ready to go. Makes it so convenient. So let's get cooking. Okay, so again, this is what we'll need. We're gonna have asparagus. We're gonna lightly season this. I might even grill these. We have some chicken stock, medium green rice, some shallots, garlic, a little bit of butter, cheeses, extra virgin olive oil, just salt and pepper, a little bit of all-purpose seasoning with the adobo, and the scallops, and pecorino romano. This is Parmigiano Reggiano. So not much. I'm gonna get some heavy cream out the fridge later. I do have some lime that I'm gonna put a little bit with the scallops and the brown butter and garlic. But that's about it. And I'm gonna sear it. And these two will be the last things that I cook the scallops. I'm gonna go ahead and start with the risotto. And risotto is just a really creamy rice. Super delicious. Okay, the first thing I'm gonna do to get ready to do my risotto is just cut up the things that are going to be like supporting roles in the risotto. The main, I guess, actor ingredient in my risotto is going to be obviously the rice and the cheese. But to support it, to kind of, you know, increase that flavor or whatever, we're going to put a little bit of shallot and garlic in the oil when I first put in. You know, I'm going to put a little bit of oil, a little bit of butter. I'm going to try to let the butter brown, but if not, that's okay, because I don't want it to burn. And then once that gets going for a little bit, then I'll add my shallots and my garlic. And they're pretty small minced right here. I don't know if you can see that. But I'm just mincing them, chopping them kind of small, because I don't want big chunks of it in my rice. Now my eyes are watering. I'm going to do the same thing with the garlic. And I have a lot of garlic. But I'm going to use it more than once. I'm going to put it in with so I have about 6 good big size cloves of garlic. Which I'm slicing and chopping right now. I'm going to put it with the scallops as well. This is just simple flavors, but they're still delicious. And we're not trying to make it super complicated with a lot of different flavors. Just flavors that complement each other. So right now I have my stock boiling. I had to come over here and make sure it didn't boil over. Just when I said that, I looked over and I was like, uh-oh. I had put it on high so it could boil quickly, but I don't want it obviously evaporating. I want it to evaporate in the rice. I want the rice to soak it all up. So I have 4 cups of chicken stock. So I'm going to cook about 1.5 cups of rice. And that's all we're doing is just chopping these up, and at the end I'll either top it with like some fresh parsley or some maybe cilantro, because I love the Spanish kind of flavors going on there. But I mean, or just some green onion. I think I might do that. Just top the risotto with a little bit of green onion at the end. All right, and here you have it. We just have our shallot and our garlic minced up and ready to go. Okay, now we're gonna set our pot to medium and get that butter melting and get the rice going. It's gonna be delicious, y'all. Y'all need to try it. If you've never made risotto, don't be intimidated by it. Sometimes it takes a little practice, but it is worth the trouble. I got my butter melting in here. I got my stock simmering. I'm gonna add a little bit of olive oil to this pot. Just about a couple teaspoons. I used only about 2 tablespoons of butter. It wasn't a lot. And as that melts, I'm gonna go ahead and dump the garlic in here and the shallots and start softening those up with the butter and olive oil. We're just mixing it up. Okay, we got the shallots and the garlic and the butter, and they're infusing all that oil and butter. Smells so good. I'm gonna go ahead and put a little bit of salt and pepper on here as well, and then I won't put any more until towards the end, because the cheese will be, you know, give it that salt as well, and we don't want to overdo it. It is smelling so good in here. Butter, garlic, when that combination is just glorious. Alright, so I got 1.5 cups of rice in here, and I'm just kind of lightly toasting it. Getting it all coated with that delicious garlic and butter. I have it on medium. Medium. I'm going to put a little bit like medium high. Just accelerate it just a little bit, because like I said, my husband's going to be leaving for work here soon, and I want to get this done. I'm going to go ahead and start ladling in my hot stock. See how fast that took up that stock. I put 3 ladlefuls, probably about a cup full. I'm going to go ahead and lower it now to medium. Put that on medium heat. And just let it do. Every time you see the water start being soaked up, you put you some more stock. Moving it around as you see the water being soaked up with the broth. You go ahead and add some more. Just keep that going. So you can already see there's hardly any water here. And I'll add another ladle. And then now I'll just do 1 ladle at a time. And I'll mix that up. And let it steam. I'll keep checking it and keep moving it around here and there. And that's basically to it. And then towards the end, once the rice is cooked all the way, then I'll add my heavy cream and all the cheeses that I want in it. It's gonna be yummy. The rice is, look how creamy and yummy that looks. So it's coming together. It's almost done. But what I did on this pot, since I'm out of stock, I put the 4 cups completely in here. I put some water to boil with some salt. You can put bouillon cubes in here too if you want. But I think just a little salty water is just going to do the trick. Not too salty because obviously, like I said, the cheeses. This reminds me a little bit like arroz con leche. We make what would look like risotto too, but instead of chicken stock, we cook it with milk. And you can make it savory or you can make it sweet, putting sugar and canela, you know, cinnamon and stuff like that in it. Or you can just put salt and pepper. And that is a Puerto Rican kind of guilty pleasure, like, you know, one of those comfort foods. When you're not feeling good, you'll ask your abuela or your mom to make you some arroz con leche. And it looks like this too. So this needs a little bit more liquid. Hey y'all, another quick tip when making your risotto: if you don't have heavy cream, don't worry, you can always put some, you know, milk in it, or some half and half, anything like that. Or you can just simply add some more water if you need you know, some more liquid. The longer you let it sit, the more it's gonna absorb. I just added some pepper, and here I have the Parmigiano Reggiano, and here, no, this is a Parmigiano Reggiano, excuse me, this is Pecorino Romano. So I'm gonna go ahead and put that in here. And let those melt together. A little bit of ladle of that hot water just to help it melt before I put the heavy cream in, because the heavy cream will stop it cooking because it's cold, and it'll give it creaminess, but it won't melt the cheese. See, the cheese is fogged up. Look at that, just the way it needs to be. Now it's a little bit, just a little ribbon basically. And just sends it over the top with the creamy goodness. And then this is a good time to taste it, now that we have the cheese in here, to see, do we need to add some more salt? This is just several, like, tablespoons of heavy cream. All right. I got my butter in my pot, getting nice and toasty. I dried my scallops. It's very important that you make sure they're patted dry. And then I season them with just pepper and adobo, because this butter is about to get this garlic in here. And then this is gonna get nice and yummy. And infuse that oil with that garlic. And see how that butter is turning brown? We just want a little bit of that brown butter. And these scallops won't take but probably 2 minutes on each side. Oh yeah, it's getting nice and nutty. Okay, so now it's time to put these scallops in here. I move that over there. And then I'm going to put a dash of olive oil to control the temperature. There you go. Now let me start putting these. I'm gonna do it seasoned down. Season side down. You don't want to move them once you set them down. Kind of let them do their thing, caramelize. And then that way they won't get stuck on you and they'll release from the pan. Even though this is a non-stick pan, you still got to be mindful of what you're cooking and how to deal with it. I just lightly seasoned them on this side now. They've just been lightly seasoned with coarse black pepper and some all-purpose adobo. And they have the brown butter and garlic right here. You can do this to see if they're sticking or moving around. They seem to be doing just fine. So I'm gonna, in about 30 seconds, I'm gonna flip them over. All right, the asparagus, we just put a little bit of olive oil right in the container that it had. And then I'm gonna sprinkle it with a little bit of salt and pepper, and on the grill they go. Stop the madness. What? These are perfect. Then I added a little bit more butter to this brown butter garlic sauce, and I'm gonna put that over the top. Serve it up with this amazing risotto. And the asparagus is on the grill. I'm gonna plate it up in a few minutes and give you a bite and tell you how it is. Another beautiful day for grilling. Yes, sir. Checking on these asparagus. What's the heat on them?
About 300. You don't want it too high. You just want to crisp them up a little bit. Get the flavor in there. The grill flavor and the seasoning that we put on it. Cool. All combined. So.
Let's see him again. Oh yeah. They're looking good. Look at that beautiful grilled asparagus, butter garlic scallops, and some Parmesan risotto. Yum. Okay, so I just served my husband some risotto, and what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna kind of grate a little bit of that fresh pecorino romano on top. It's like little pockets of goodness. Go ahead and top it with a little bit of the green onion. And then get those asparagus, the rest of it, and come back. All right, y'all, here you have it. This is gonna be just absolutely amazing. I'm about to take a bite. Here, this is my husband's plate. He has to go to work, so I just served him up real quick. These delicious buttered brown butter and garlic scallops with some grilled asparagus and some yummy Parmesan risotto to die for. Alrighty, let's dig in. Doesn't it look delicious? It's super creamy. I can taste those cheeses in there. They're not overpowered or anything. And they're the center. The texture of the risotto is perfect. And the flavor of the cheeses comes through. And they're the star. Even though it has shallots and garlic in here, they're shining through. All right. Oh my goodness. That scallop with that brown butter is just luscious. I can't even begin to explain how wonderful that is. That's such a good combination. I want to see this grilled asparagus. I went ahead and topped mine with a little bit of Parmesan too. Oh my goodness, tender and good. Simple. We just did a little bit of olive oil, salt, and pepper. But it's just that grill that gives it that taste. It just can't be beat. All right, y'all, this is another win. Simple and delicious. From my kitchen to yours, buen provecho.